I heard his name, and he called out mine. When the 12 tribes of Israel were led out of Egypt, other tribes of people left with them. This is the story of my tribe. This is the story of our covenant with God, the great I Am. In the time of the pharaohs, kings, and ancient gods, there came a time of retribution and the time of Exodus. The Hebrews were enslaved in Egypt for over 400 years, as it had been foretold in the time before them. The Pharaoh rules Egypt and had the children of Israel building monuments and temples to honor their gods. The God of the Hebrews spoke to Moses and chose him to be the one to lead his people out of Egypt and from Pharaoh's rule. But Ramses refused, and plagues and the wrath of the Hebrew God fell upon Egypt. God's wrath rained down on Egypt. Plagues arose and monuments fell. In the final hour, with the final plague, the firstborn in every Egyptian home were killed. This moved the hand of Ramses to release the Hebrews from captivity. They were free, and with them left other tribes, including some Egyptians. My tribe was one of those tribes. My name is Zera, the daughter of a chief leader named Zuma. This is the story of our people and our journey to the promised land. As we followed Moses and the Hebrews across the Red Sea, this is where our journey began. This is where I started to hear his voice, the beginning of the prophecy. After we crossed the Red Sea, the 12 tribes continued into the desert as instructed by God. We chose to go our own path and start anew, but unknowingly to us, our path was already forged with the same promise and the same destiny. We walked our own path through a separate land. The elders guided the way as the chiefs and the men followed, with the women and children behind them. Water had to be rationed. We walked through the desert land for 3 days before reaching a source of water. We made camp around the river until the elders decided where to go from here. A few days go by. I went to the river to bathe and collect water. A voice came to me in silence, but no one was around. It called me by name. As I laid down under the evening sky, I couldn't help but think about the voice and why it called out to me. How did it know me? And what did it want? I closed my eyes and slept. Normally I dream. This time, it was visions, almost as if I were moving through time itself. The next morning, I confided in my friend Mayra, my friend since I was a child. I told her what I saw in my visions. She told me this could be a vision for our people and to talk to my father, who was a leader in our tribe. My father told me my visions were a message and to always take them seriously whenever they come. These visions may concern our people. If I were to receive more visions, I was to come to him so that he could go to the elders. Women were not allowed to speak on tribal affairs. Our tribe continued to move north of the river. We stopped to make camp before moving into an unknown valley. I went upstream to collect water and to cool off from the long journey north. This is where it happened. This is where he spoke to me. As I enter the water, someone calls out my name. But this time, I spoke back. Who are you? What do you want with me? The voice spoke back.
Do not fear me, for I am always with thee.
Who are you?
I am that I am. I am the God of the Hebrews, and I am here to prosper your people, only if they be obedient.
What do you want from us?
I have delivered the Hebrews from bondage, but they have once again turned their backs on me out of fear and doubt. So they must wander the desert for 40 years. But the land I promised them can still be reached by your people.
Where is it? And how do we get there?
In order to reach the land, you must go through the valley of giants and slay them and claim the lands. There is a part of the land I have set aside for you and your tribe to prosper. The other part of the land will be for the 12 tribes when the 40 years is over.
What do we do when we reach the valley of giants?
Your tribe must fast for 3 days before you enter the valley and before you face the giants. Consume nothing but water and plants from the desert around you. You will defeat the giants and enter the promised land.
Why have you chosen me for this path and promise?
You are a descendant of the tribe of Benjamin. The visions I gave you I also gave to your mother. Her time came before she was able to pass on the message of the prophecy for the 12 tribes of Israel. And because you are a descendant of the 12 tribes, and you and your people did not fall to idol worship and doubt, the same promise has been extended to your tribe. They will reach the promised land and live good lives, only if they are obedient to my word.
How do I convince them?
Go to your father and tell him what I've told you and tell him to tell the elders. They will not believe him at first, so tell him to send some men to the valley ahead of the tribe. They will see the giants and know he speaks the truth.
I will do what you ask.
I will be with you, and you will hear me again when it is time.
I went to my father and told him what the God of the Hebrews had told me. He wasn't surprised by what he heard, but knew it was the truth. He went to the elders to give the message from God. There was a divide amongst them. Half believed him and half didn't. He told them he would send men to the valley, and if there were giants that they should heed the commands of God. Some opposed this, but my father followed what God had told me. He sent men to the valley. The elders and the other men continued to question his decisions. After a 3-day journey, the men reached the valley of giants. Their eyes were in disbelief to what they witnessed. They saw the roaming giants in the valley. They hid and made camp in the desert and left as the sun rose to tell the elders and the tribesmen what they saw. They returned to our tribe with news of the giants. The elders were in shock and disbelief from what they heard. They turned to my father and asked what God commanded them to do. He told them that we must defeat the giants, and the promised land was waiting for us beyond the valley. Their men were doubtful, but he assured them victory if they obeyed God. They agreed, and the men prepared for battle. We marched to the valley for 3 days. My father instructed me to guide the women and children through the valley and through another path while our tribe went to war. Our tribe rallied together to face the giants. They made a loud battle cry as they stormed the valley. Hundreds of men fought against the giants. As the battle went on, I led the women and children through another path, avoiding the giants and the battle. The other women were suspicious of why my father told them to follow me. They didn't think I should lead because I was younger and had no children of my own. The battle lasted 2 days, and as God promised, we were victorious. The giants fell, and our tribe moved through the valley and into the land that was promised. We made camp in the valley. Our tribe celebrated the victory by dancing around the fire and embracing our heritage. It was the first time we experienced joy in a long time. That night, as I lay in the valley, something told me to get up and walk. I found a small cave. Spring water flowed from the top into a small body of water. I stepped into the water. Then he spoke. He told me when we reached the promised land to go to the mountaintop to pray. There, he will give us his laws to obey and begin a new covenant. After days of traveling, we reached the land, and I did what he instructed. From that moment on, I was a messenger to God to my people. My father revealed where the messages of God came from. The elder proclaimed that I was to be the only woman to speak on tribal affairs and messages from God. I was the first of my tribe, but not the last. I was the fulfillment of the prophecy given to my mother for our people. God will deliver and prosper his people, all of them.